Hi guys, we are making a video on how to execute videos. And before we get started, I do want to say that I'm testing out this travel size portable kit that I've put together and hopefully I can make a video about it. But it's basically a small rig light with DJ mic 2 and a tripod. I'm trying to test it out because all this can fit in a sling. Let me know if it's really good quality so far. Everybody thinks creating YouTube is so difficult or starting a YouTube channel is so difficult. And I used to be like that too. I didn't have a phone until I was a senior in high school. Before then, I had the Obama flip phones and Obama phones. That was free. And I'm grateful for it. That was a time I didn't have money and stuff. And it did what it did. When I needed it for emergencies, I needed it for emergencies. I didn't use it for social media. I didn't use it to call and text friends because I was limited on my things. But it gave you a pretty good range on how much you could text though. All you need to get started is just simply a phone. Just use your phone. You can use the audio, and all you have to use CapCut, learn, trim, cut, delete, add music. My first 30 channels, I really didn't have any special effects. I learned little things here and there, but honestly, learn as you go. You don't need to learn all the effects and how to be a great masterful editor. When you play a sport, you're learning the foundations. As you get more practices and more games, you get better. Then you focus on foundations and how to perfect that. And then you learn slowly different moves and techniques. It's the same process. So why do you need to be a grandmaster editor? You don't. You're making your life harder and you're only delaying yourself. Another thing is people think that you need all this fancy gear. You need to have just the basic form, and then you can learn as you go and upgrade as you go. Same goes for your gear. I started off with just on my phone, and I got a $10 lav mic. After the $10 lav mic, I was fortunate and able to get a DJI mic 2. When I got the DJI mic 2, I got the small rig little light. I'm not buying no $300 lamp. I don't make that much money. That takes my whole paycheck. That doesn't seem logical. I see all the time when I'm on Facebook Market, not that I'm buying a camera, but I just like to look. People are sitting there buying or selling their $4,000 gear camera because the camera is too much. They didn't even make regular videos and they're selling it because the camera that they bought, they don't even know how to use because they never got hands-on with a normal basic camera, but you went all in to get the best of the best or your dream camera. And then you have this expensive lens, expensive camera. Because they bought that dream camera and stuff, they don't have the little accessories that they need, like the multi-tool kit, ND filter, what else is it? A sling, a protective screen cover, lens blower, things like that. Things that starts to add up. But if you just simply started from the basics. And then they find out they don't even like creating videos or being a photographer or videographer, but you bought this expensive camera. You need to shorten the time frame from idea, production, execution. What I mean by that is sometimes people are so stuck on the idea of something that they linger it more than they're actually doing and taking action. And also they tell everybody their ideas. Why you prolong yourself by telling everybody your ideas versus actually executing it? Sometimes you get unsolicited advice you don't want. You get judgment. Fake people who just says, oh man, that's great, but then secretly they're talking behind your back. You don't need their approvals or anything, but you don't need to waste your time talking to them. That time you could have been talking to them, you could have filmed your video, edited a video, or do something that whatever you do, like whether it's making a video or playing soccer or something that you'd like to do. Just downtime, creating the next idea, creating your script. I have this window where I give myself 4 days maximum to think and film the video, at least. Every video that you see, those are the ones that I actually thoroughly think about, like more than a day. But the ones you see is the one that I think about more often. That's why I'm more vulnerable in these videos, because it's actually genuinely my emotions and thoughts. It's authentic. Those videos keep me up at night. So when I think about how do I execute to make videos, that's what I thought about for maybe 3 days. But I give myself that deadline. I have to do it because if I do it more than 4 days, it's never going to happen. Sometimes I don't even give myself 4 days. Sometimes I do 2 to 3 days. Really 2 days. I'll sleep on it. And if I think about it more than 3 times at night, I'm going to film that video. You need to stop caring what people think. People are always going to have something to say. Whether they're trying to give you advice when they themselves don't have themselves together. Someone who just generally doesn't know what the path is and they say, oh yeah, make that bag of making YouTube. But then they also, when you get deep into the conversation, they be like, but why are you making YouTube videos? What's the point? There is no point. I just want to do it. It's just something I like to do. How people play video games. Doesn't have to be a reason. You can just do it because you just simply like it. I simply like making YouTube videos. If I become a 1 million subscriber channel, so be it. But if not, I'm doing this to have a general community and a general output. And I like to match my input with the amount of output. At least that I know I put effort into something. I gave up drumming. I got to a point where I can't reach sheet music. I can still listen to it and stuff, but it's not the same as before. I put that passion and obsession that I have with percussion into YouTube. In general, you need to stop caring about what people think because it's only going to stop you. Why would you let someone stop you when they don't live your life? It's your life. Yeah, they may be in your life. They may have something similar to your life. Your life is still different. I grew up with my friend who also who had stick parents and had a very rough childhood. But their experience is not my experiences. CapCut. CapCut is the most basic of the basic. Trim, edit, delete, add music if you want, upload. If you want to learn more, slow, do it as you go. Learn a simple, zoom in, zoom out, add a meme. Keep it simple. What I do is I would edit, and as I'm editing, I will watch a YouTube video as I'm editing. It keeps me something engaging, like, I'm not so mundanely editing this video, but I'm also watching something good. But I put Dami BTS on, AP Academy, Ron Doug, I Am David Perkins, something productive and positive. Don't be listening to loud belligerent music when you're trying to do something productive. You could, but like you're putting yourself in a negative energy. I would rather surround myself in positive energy and positive people than talking about popping pussy. Also, people think you need to have the best thumbnails or whatever. That's like how to be successful or whatever. I'm not trying to be that. I'm just simply trying to make a YouTube video. Some videos don't even have a thumbnail. My most viewed video is just me playing balloons. And I literally didn't even upload a thumbnail to it. And it's simply a decent title saying, "My grandma almost got us shot," which was a very true story. Don't overcomplicate things. All I can do is simply this. In the video. And you can just use Canvas. You don't need to use Lightroom stuff. I use Canvas and I save it on PNG. And I save it to my computer. That's it. It's free. There is free things. Use your free access. Use your resources that you got available to you in this world. There's free education. I learned coding because I am a data science engineer. I'm a data science student. I learned most of my coding so far on Python from YouTube. People like Bro Code. This guy named Brad. You just need to know how to search it up and do it as you're learning. That's how I learned to code. I don't learn code by just simply watching the damn thing. I learn it by actually doing it as it's teaching me. When something's broken, you're trying to fix it. You're doing it as you're watching the video. Same principle. Just learn to do it. You just need to do it. At the end of the day, you're never going to be a YouTuber if you don't make videos. You can't be a basketball player without picking up a basketball. I'm blind doing all this. I do everything myself. I edit by myself. I film by myself. I upload it. I don't have to be the best of the best in everything. I just need to learn the basics in each task. And I work with what I got. Now, last thing is you need to learn the difference between inspired and motivation. Motivation is the reasoning to do something for your actions. Versus inspiration is the influence for your creativity or feelings. But it's not your reasoning. You already had a reasoning to do it. Or you already had a drive to do it. Inspiration gives you that little extra push. That's it. So anytime you watch people and you comment below like, "Oh, you motivated me." No. That person just gave you that little pepper. But you already had the salt and the sugar. You just had that extra little push. That's all it is. You just the cherry on top of things. And the thing that I always keep in my head that someone said in the video, there were 2.5 billion people who watch YouTube on a daily basis. Why can't you have a small piece of that pie? Same thing goes into anything that you have a desire for and you want to be successful in. You're just a small person in a big pool. Don't think you're being drowned out. Think, I deserve a little bit of that. Millions and trillions and quadruple jillions, whatever the correct number thing is. Why can't I have a small piece of that? Why can't I have that 1% of that? Why can't I have that 10% of that? But in reality, you do know how much money that is? Be inspired, shorten the time frame, and execute it. Getting out that way, now we're going to get real. I like to talk about something to get stuff off my chest. You can click off of this video. I'm going to talk about an update about the last video that I had. The questions about what had happened, about me being essayed by my family members. And she wanted answers. I didn't get to give her the answers yet. She hasn't asked me the questions yet. On Thanksgiving, I went to my oldest cousin's. He invited me out to go to the Thanksgiving dinner, which I never get to go to because I'm always out of state. So now I was in state and went to go. Because I'm blind, I don't get to see everything. Again, I haven't seen these people in years. Turns out one of the cousin who I said me the last time. So last time I said I was 19. I was actually 21. I just keep thinking 19. I saw him there. He came up to me. And again, he pretended like nothing happened. And we had a conversation. We didn't talk about what had happened or anything. We just pretended like, oh, catching up. As if we're like normal family members that I haven't seen each other in. Things are like, oh, what you been up to? What you do now? You still got your cats? Stuff like that. And I was just anxious the whole time. Nervous. Shaking a little bit. Part of me wanted to just be positive and spirited, like just catching up. But why should I do that? To be a better person. I'm always doing things to be the better person. Put things past, no matter how I feel. Shouldn't have to. He does look like he's a better person overall. But the devil works in the shadows. I don't know if he's actually a better person. He got skinnier. He looks better. Doesn't look like he's on drugs anymore. At the end of the day, I still think about what happened. It's getting better, but it still lingers every once in a while. Like, it creeps up on you every few often. I wonder what happened when I do see my cousin that doesn't want the answers. I don't know how I'm going to answer that, or if I answer them. She doesn't need to know the answers, though. That's only up to me. I do need to open up more and talk more. I can't always just do this to this camera, to the internet. Eventually, I'm going to have to talk to a real person. And that's just me being real. And it's just how I want my channel to be. I just want my channel to be real. I want it to be my genuine experience, my genuine thoughts. And I just want my community to be genuine. To be an uplifting community. A community that has compassion. You may not understand everything, but you're at least hearing. You can at least sympathize for that person in some type of fashion. I always say when I was awake, because people would be like, you deal with the most crappiest people. But then I always think to myself, maybe they're just having a bad day. Like, yeah, that person may have been a Karen, but maybe they're just having a bad day. There's so many incidents where I was like, man, this person's a jackass. Straight up, you're a jackass. You're the most caring person I've met so far in my work field. But then they'll come up to me the next day. Well, actually, like the next day. I remember when I was a cashier. This person was just so mean, had an attitude. Mean. She called me bad names. I was just simply bagging up for groceries and catching her out. So I pretended like she didn't say those things to me. But I still carried the conversation. How you doing? Terrible. This fucking place, you ain't got shit in here. Then all these people in my goddamn way. And, you're going so damn slow. Keep in mind, I'm the fastest worker. They come back the next day. I'm so sorry that I was rude to you yesterday. Went to the hospital 20 minutes before to find out that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I actually came in here to pick up some things that she asked me to pick up for her in the hospital. You don't know what people are going through. I remember I had this one customer. He only goes to my line because no other cashiers takes him. And then one day he was really rude. And I told him, you cannot come to me no more. And I always do things very professionally. Even my manager was like, I think that was the hardest ones he's ever done. Him acting that way. Came back the next day. Turned out he is mentally ill. He has severe bipolar disorder. Makes sense. I don't take it personal. Do my job as the best I can, and that's all I can do. And if you're rude to me, you're rude to me. But at least I was nice. I provide you the service that you needed. So just give compassion. You ain't got to forgive them either. It's great to hear that they said sorry. You at least grab a better understanding. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for my TED Talk. For those who are going through a tough time, I hope you get through it. Find some light in your darkness. Someone sees compassion in whatever you're going through. And I hope you see compassion in others. I hope you get to feel again. I hope you find some answers. I hope you find some closure. And I hope you're just kind to yourself. I think the whole thing out of this whole video, out of everything, you're never going to be able to move forward in life and in what you do if you don't have self-love. Self-love because you have all this doubt in your mind. And it procrastinates you in order for you to do things in life. Whether it's creating videos or going to get a job. Making a connection with someone that can be a friend, a lover, just someone to talk to in your tough times. Have a great one, guys. Love you.